Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello, dear students. Welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to begin with the second chapter of grammar of class 12 alternative English Nagaland Board, which is conjunctions. Now, as we all know, what is a conjunction? Conjunction refers to joining words. Now, this is the easiest way in which we can describe conjunctions. Those words which help us to join two sentences are known as conjunctions. Let us look at a few sentences first. Ravi and I are great friends. We were tired, so we fell asleep immediately. I would have come to your party, but my aunt arrived early. Now, in the first sentence, we used and to join the two sentences. Ravi and I are good friends. In the second sentence, we used so and but. So, and so and but are the examples of conjunction. So, as I told you, those words which help you to join two sentences together are known as conjunctions. Now, a conjunction is a word which is used to link words. They are used to link phrases, clauses, statements, or sentences. It may also be used to establish a relationship between the different ideas. So, they join two statements, they join two sentences, two phrases, two words, everything. So, connecting is with the help of conjunctions. Now, some conjunctions are used in pairs in a sentence, and such conjunctions are called correlative conjunctions or only correlatives. So, correlative conjunctions or correlatives are those conjunctions or those joining words which are always used in pairs. For example, the soldiers captured not only the capital but also the adjoining villages. So, here not only and also are conjunctions. They are correlative conjunctions which join two words and are always used in pairs. They are always used together. Now, there are two types of conjunctions on the basis of the kind of function that they perform. First is coordinating conjunctions. Now, what are coordinating conjunctions? Conjunctions that are used to join two words or sentences or clauses of equal importance. So, two words or two sentences or clauses which are of equal importance when they are joined together. The conjunctions that we use to join them are known as coordinating conjunctions. For example, their son lives in Patna and works in Media House. Now, what is the sentence that we have joined? Their son lives in Patna. Their son works in a media house. These are the two sentences. I have joined these two sentences using and. So, their son lives in Patna and works in a media house. You can eat the sandwich or the rice. So, you can eat the sandwich, you can eat the rice. So, I have joined it using the conjunction or. So, coordinating conjunctions, as I told you, are those which help you to join two sentences. His stories are either true or completely unbelievable. Now, in the example that we have just studied above, conjunctions join two sentences or words which are equally important, right? That is why we've been able to connect them. We've been able to join them. Other coordinating conjunctions that are used to join two sentences or words or phrases of equal importance are but, as well as both and, not only but also still and whereas. Now the conjunction and, as well as, both and, not only but, these conjunctions are also used to add one statement to another. So we use these statements, these conjunctions, when we have to add on a statement to something. The students marched and moved forward. What is the statement that I have added? That the students moved forward. If I say, using as well as, if I frame a sentence for you, I will watch a movie as well as talk to my friend over phone. So I have added a sentence that I will watch a movie, and what else have I added to my routine? That I will talk to a friend also on phone. Not only, if I say, not only is my friend very kind, but very selfless as well. So again, I have added a sentence. So we use these coordinating conjunctions to add another statement to them. Now the conjunctions but, yet, still, whereas, however, nevertheless, or are used to join the statements that indicate a contrast or opposition. When two opposite or contrasting things are being talked about, we use but, yet, still, whereas, however, nevertheless, and so on and so forth. For example, Nikita was angry, but she remained silent. Contrast, she was angry and still she was silent. So this is a contrast. If I say, I was tired, yet I went to meet her. So I was tired, and what is the contrast? I went to meet her. So this is the contrast. Then the conjunctions or, either or, neither or, else, otherwise, they indicate a choice between the two alternatives. We can go either to the park or to the museum. I had neither seen nor heard of the Ardwak before. Okay? So, we've talked about those conjunctions which help you to add a sentence to them. There are conjunctions which help you to, add an element of contrast in them. Then there are conjunctions which help you to, relate a choice to them. So this is about it. Next type of conjunctions that we are going to learn about are conjunctions such as usually, we have for, therefore, so, then, consequently, as a result, and so on and so forth. And when do we use these conjunctions? We use these conjunctions to indicate an inference. What do we mean by inference? The result of something. So what happened as a result of something else? For example, Hari must not have made it to the bus, for he entered the room quite late. So, what was the reason that Hari could not go to the bus or catch the bus on time? Because he entered the room late. So, this is your inference. This is what you have made out of Hari coming late because he must have missed the bus. We did not complete our homework on time. Therefore, mom did not give us any ice cream. So, what was the result of you not having completed your homework on time? Your mother did not give you any ice cream. So, this is about the coordinating conjunctions. Then we have the next type of conjunctions, which are subordinating conjunctions. Those conjunctions which join a dependent clause to the main clause. Main clause is connected with the subordinating clause or the dependent clause using a subordinating conjunction. For example, he decided to open a school because there was no one nearby. Now, what is the main clause? He decided to open a school. This is a main clause because this is an independent sentence and this does not need anything else to complete it. On the other hand, there was none nearby is an incomplete sentence which needs the main clause for its completion. So I connected the main clause with the subordinate clause using the conjunction because. Now, in the example that we read above, the conjunction that we used was because. So what was my conjunction? It is because. And when did I use and why did I use this conjunction? Because it showed the relationship between two clauses. We know that in a sentence, there is one main clause and the other one is a subordinate or a dependent clause. So the first part of the sentence, that is, he decided to open a school, is the main clause. And what is the subordinate clause or what is the clause that is dependent on the main clause? It is, there was no school nearby. So these two clauses, the main clause and the subordinate clause, they have been joined using the word because. The reason we use a subordinate conjunction to join the subordinate clause to the main clause is because a subordinate clause cannot stand alone. It needs a main clause to be dependent. Let us look at some more examples. Meenu's father died when she was quite young. I have connected the two sentences using, yes, they will open a store if they have permission from the authorities. So in these sentences, the dependent clauses, these are the dependent clauses and these are the subordinate conjunctions which are being used to join the main clause with the subordinating clause. Now, subordinating conjunction can further be classified into the following table. The first, we use subordinating conjunction to indicate the time of something. What are the subordinating conjunctions which help us to indicate time? Before, till, since, after, when, until, while, as soon as long as. Then we use subordinating conjunctions to indicate the cause or reason for something. What are those subordinating conjunctions? Because, since, as, in case, just in case, in as much as, in so far as, and so on and so forth. Then we use subordinating conjunctions to talk about the condition for something. And what are the conjunctions that we use to classify the condition? If, unless, and had. We use subordinating conjunctions to talk about the concession, as we already have discussed the term concession when talking about prepositions. So concession, what are the subordinating conjunctions that talk about concession? Though, although, even if, despite, much as, while, even though, and so on and so forth. Then we have purpose. Subordinating conjunctions are used to talk about the purpose of something. So that, so, in order to, so as to, in case, in order that, and so on and so forth are the conjunctions that help you to establish a purpose behind something. Result or the consequence of something, if you have to talk about, we use that, since, as, therefore, as a result, and so that, and so on and so forth. And then we have to strike a comparison. We use a subordinate conjunction as well. Than, whereas, however, yet, still, but, nevertheless, on the other hand, so on and so forth. So these are the reasons or the purposes that we use a subordinate conjunction, and the subordinate conjunctions also, I have told you what all are the subordinating conjunctions that we use with reference to time, cause, condition, concession, comparison, result, and so on and so forth. Now, the conjunctions have the following three basic forms as we read. First, a conjunction can be a single word. For example, and, but, for, as, because, though, although, yet, so, etc. So these are just one word conjunctions. A conjunction can be made up of two or more words, which is known as a compound conjunction. For example, in order that, on condition that, even if, so that, as though, provided that, in as much as soon as if, as well as, etc. These are compound conjunctions. And a conjunction is also used in pairs. Two conjunctions used in the same sentence always together. Either or, neither nor, both and, though yet, whether or, not only but also, no sooner than, hardly when, if, or. These are the conjunctions which are always used in pairs. So we either use a conjunction individually, we use a compound conjunction, or we use a conjunction that always comes in a pair. Now let us look at a few conjunctions and their uses. The first is since. Since is used in the sentences in the sense of from and time. Okay, so when we talk about a particular point of time, we always use since. For example, several things have happened since Ishan joined the group. So from the time that Ishan joined the group till the present, a lot of things have happened. It has been several weeks since the sun came out. So from the time that the sun came out, a lot of things have happened. Then, okay. It is also used in sentences in the sense of seeing that or in as much as. So seeing that in as much as, when you talk about such references, then also we use a since. For example, since he refused to carry out the order, he was dismissed. So since, seeing that he refused to carry out the order, he was dismissed. So what was the outcome of he having refused to carry out the order? He was dismissed. Since you wanted me to wait, I stayed in the room. So why am I staying in the room? Because you wanted me to wait. It can also be used in sentences in place of because. For example, Rohan will not be going on the trip since his parents did not give him the permission. So because his parents did not give him the permission. So these are the usages of the conjunction since. So one of the most simplest, or the easiest conjunction that we use often is or. And why do we use or? We use or to join words, to join phrases, or to join clauses which represent alternatives. Alternatives means choices. So, or is used in those sentences wherein we have to choose one of the two things which is given in the sentence. Do you want the chair or the stool? You can have the room upstairs or you can sleep here. Shall we go to the zoo on Sunday or Tuesday? So choices are being talked about. It is also used to connect alternative terms for the same thing. For example, food is also a source of subsistence or nutrition. So we are talking about the same thing over here, that is food, which is a source of subsistence, that is survival, as well as nutrition. It is also used to indicate a choice between two possibilities. You can sit here or go home. You can play now or study at this point. So read carefully or you will forget. The next conjunction that we have is if. It is used to indicate in that case. So if you want to say that in that case or supposing that or on the condition that, in such cases we use if. For example, if the teacher has time, she will also explain the equations. So, supposing that, or the teacher will explain the equations on the condition that she has time. So, we use if. Do not go outside if I am not back by noon. What is the condition? That if I am back by noon, you are not supposed to go outside. It is also used in the sense of whether in case we express a doubt. So if there is a doubt that you are expressing, we use it in the sense of whether. Sonali asked the librarian if she could borrow the dictionary, whether she could borrow the dictionary. I doubt if he will come to the class today. So I doubt whether he is going to come to the class today or not. It may also be used in the sense of whenever or when. For example, if you have any questions, you can ask the cashier. So whenever you have any questions, you can ask the cashier. If you have any doubts, you can get it cleared from your teacher. Alright. Additionally, we use if to express a wish or a surprise as well. If only I had wings. So this is a wish, a desire that you are expressing. If only the class would get over soon. The next conjunction that we talk about is that. It is used to express a consequence, result, or effect in the sentences. The effect of something, the consequence of something, the result of something. The house was so small that it barely accommodated their belongings. What was the result of the house being so small? That it did not accommodate the belongings. The crowd was so large that they had to send in more police to control it. So the crowd was so huge, the result was that they had to send the police to control it. It is also used to express cause or the reason for something. For example, I cannot believe that I was not invited. So what is the cause? What is the reason for you not having believed in? So, the reason is that you were not invited. They had to start early so that they would reach the hall in time. So what was the reason for you to have reached early? So that you could join the hall on time. Then the next conjunction that we talk about is than. Now what is than and when do we use than? The conjunction than is used after adjectives and adverbs in a comparative degree. Now this is something that we have learnt about in the degrees of comparison. When we talk about the comparative degree, we use than. Those apples will look better than the oranges. The hotel we stayed at last time was more comfortable than his guest house. So better is the comparative degree, we use than for it. More comfortable is the comparative degree, we use than for it. Now the next conjunction that we talk about is how to further use than. What are the other uses of than? It may be used to introduce rejected in the expressions of the choice. When you choose one thing and you reject the other, then also we use than. For example, we prefer to come back walking rather than wait for the bus. So what was the choice that you took? Preferred to come back. And what was the choice you rejected? Waiting for the bus. It would be better to take biology than try a hand at computers this term. So what is the option that you have chosen? Taking biology. And what have you foregone? Trying computers at this time. Than is also used to mean except or other than. For example, there was no choice than to abandon the garden project. So there was no choice except to leave the garden project or other than the garden project. Right? Then we have the next conjunction, which is while. It is used to denote throughout the time or as long as. So throughout the time or as long as. We decide to get the fire going while he was out. So we decided to get the fire as long as he was out. Mima asked Sheldon to look after her house while she was gone. So as long as or throughout the time that he was gone, Mima asked Sheldon to look after his house. It is also used to denote a period of time when two events occur simultaneously, together. While we prepared the posters, what happened at the same time? The other students cleared the stage. While I was sleeping, she worked on her essay. So when two things take place at the same time, we use. It may also be used in the sense of whereas. Mammals give birth to live and to live young ones. While birds lay eggs. So mammals give birth to the young ones. On the other hand, the birds lay eggs. Then we have the other conjunction, that is only. So conjunction, it may be used to mean except that, but were it not so, that is how we use only. They performed well, only missed their cues at time. So they did perform well, except that. What was the problem? They missed their cues on time. I would have gone with Sharon, only I had homework to finish. The only problem was that I had a lot of homework to finish. The next conjunction that we have because, for, and since. All three of them are used to express cause or a reason in the sentence. He did not go to the school because he was unwell. So what was the reason for him not having gone to the school? Because he was unwell. Okay. Now the use of because in a sentence puts more emphasis on the using because puts more emphasis on the reason. She could not go to the market because her cycle was punctured. So what was the reason? Her cycle was punctured. When since is used in a sentence, it means in the view of the fact that. So when you are considering something, when you are considering a fact in view of something, then also we use since. We could not practice for the dance since there was no electricity. So the fact that there was no electricity, we could not practice. Then for is used as an inference. When you infer out something, you bring out some information in the sentence. Raghu resigned from his job for he could no longer handle the pressure. So why? What was the inference for Raghu to have resigned from the job? Because he could not handle the pressure anymore. The next conjunction that we have is unless. It is used to express a condition. The medicines will be of no use unless you take the full course. So it will be of no use unless you take the full course. Until, when do we use until? It is used to mean up to a particular point in time or till. So till some particular point of time we use until. He slept until his parents returned from the party. So till what time did he sleep? Till his return from the party. I will wait until the secretary arrives. So, till what point will I wait? Until the secretary arrives. The next set of conjunctions that we have, so long as or as long as. Now, both these phrases, as long as and as so long as, both these phrases are used to indicate the condition that will only happen if something else occurs. So when one thing is dependent on the occurrence of something else, we use so long as or as long as. As long as you get a first class degree, we would be willing to sponsor your trip. So what is the condition for us to sponsor your trip? If you get a first class degree. So long as she works hard, she will continue to win the support of her seniors. So the condition is being talked about. Then comes however. The condition, the conjunction, however, is used both as a subordinate and a coordinate conjunction. So we use however as a subordinate conjunction. That is, it is used to connect main clause and a dependent clause, and it is also used as a coordinate conjunction, that is simply to join two sentences. For example, however tough the conditions are, the soldiers are always alert. So no matter how difficult the conditions are, the soldiers are always alert. Then we use it as a coordinate conjunction. For example, the place was easy to find, however, there was nothing to see there. So it is connected sentences. The place was easy to find and there was nothing to see there. So joining these two sentences using however. I asked him to visit me in the morning, however, he did not turn up on time. So we can use however both as subordinate conjunction as well as coordinate conjunction. So this is what all we need to learn about conjunctions. Subordinate, coordinate conjunctions, their usages is very important. Let us now discuss the exercises. Use the most appropriate word from the back bracket to fill in the blank. So I will do the first 5 for you and the rest you can do on your own. He was so tired that he could barely keep his eyes open. I ran fast, but I could not catch the bus. Get away from the dog or it will bite you. Danny was feeling cold, so he wore a sweater. Live well or you may die well. Or rather, live well and you may die well. Only if we live well, we be able to die well as well. Let us look at the next question. Combine the two following sentences using conjunctions. The first one has been done for us already. He sells mangoes, he sells oranges. How did we combine them? He sells mangoes and oranges. Ram reads for pleasure, Harry reads for knowledge. So Ram reads for pleasure, but or while Harry reads for knowledge. My mother is well, my brother is ill. So my mother is well, but my brother is ill. So the next sentence that we have is, I respect him, he always speaks the truth. Now I have to join these two sentences. What is the reason for me to respect him? He always speaks the truth. So what conjunction can I use to join them? Because. I respect him because he always speaks the truth. The next sentence is, the band played, dash the children danced. Two things which are taking place together. The dance played and at the same time the children danced. So the band played and the children danced. You are tall, dash my uncle is taller. There is a contradiction between the two things. You are tall, but who is taller? My uncle. So you are tall, but my uncle is taller. So this ways, I'm sure you can solve the rest of the sentences as well. Let us move on to the next question. Fill in the blanks using appropriate conjunctions in the bracket. Let us do the first one. You must wait here until the principal returns. If you leave, you will not get another appointment. I am sure when he returns, he will listen to your grievance. Let us look at the second one. I sat on the couch while Geeta prepared the coffee. When some time had passed, I got up to leave, for I had to pick up my sister. Right? Easy enough? Let us move on to the next question. Now in this question it says that there are errors in the use of conjunction. We have to identify those errors and rewrite the sentences using the correct conjunctions. Sonika has been dancing from when she was a child. So Sonika has been dancing since she was a child. We did not wait for her unless she was late. We did not wait for her because she was late. Please sit with the customer unless I return. No. Please sit with the customer until I return. Mona spent her money on sweets since her sister saved her money. So Mona spent her money on sweets, but her sister or while her sister saved money. No sooner had the boys left that Mark arrived. So no sooner, as soon as the boys left, that Mark arrived. Okay. Let us look at the next question now. Correct. Tick the correct alternative. Will you wait here till I come back? I was surprised when they brought the bill. She never eats soup. Until they make fresh bread. Dash, I walked out of library. I had all the books I needed for my research. Dash, it is Sunday, the school is closed. So since or for it is Sunday, the school is closed. So with this, I believe we've come to the end of this chapter. So we've discussed about the conjunctions, the types of conjunctions, their uses, as well as the back exercises have been thoroughly discussed with you. So I hope this grammar topic is clear to you all.